Lin Dunn didn't just throw a jab. She launched a torpedo straight through the heart of Indiana Fever's coaching chaos, and the shockwaves are threatening to tear the entire franchise apart. What began as a hopeful season built around Caitlin Clark, the most electric rookie the WNBA has seen in years, has now devolved into a full-blown basketball meltdown. Head coach Stephanie White and a system so painfully outdated, fans are wondering if Indiana is trying to sabotage its own future. From the moment the season tipped off, things felt off. The Fever had stacked the roster with veterans like Natasha and Sophie Cunningham. On paper, it looked like a dream team. But on the hardwood, it was anything but. While Clark dazzled in college with a freewheeling offense that let her orchestrate every play like a maestro, Indiana threw her into a motion offense that looks more like a high school drill than a professional system. 0 fast break points. That's not a typo. That's what Indiana's offense delivered in a recent game. You have the most dynamic offensive player in years, and you neuter her playmaking ability by having her pass sideways for 20 seconds? That's not coaching, that's malpractice. Clark was brought in as the face of the franchise, the player who could put butts in seats and eyeballs on screens. And she's done that. The Fever games are must-watch TV because of her. But Stephanie White seems determined to dim her light with a system designed for players who don't exist. The motion offense requires surgical precision, off-ball movement, and high basketball IQ from everyone. But here's the truth, it's outdated. It doesn't suit Clark. It doesn't suit this roster. And it's stifling any chance at real growth. Then came the moment that sent the franchise into DEFCON 1. Lin Dunn, former GM, current senior advisor, and the architect of Indiana's only championship in 2012, took to social media and lit the fuse. Her statement was short but devastating: don't expect players to execute what you haven't drilled in practice. That's it. But in the world of professional sports, that's a dagger straight to the coach's credibility. It was a clear, public rebuke of Stephanie White's system, her preparation, and her ability to lead. And fans? They didn't hesitate to pile on. The comment sections turned into war zones. "Fire Stephanie White" became a rallying cry. These aren't casual viewers dropping hot takes, they're lifelong fans who've suffered through the Fever's darkest days. If they're abandoning ship this early in the season, that's not just a red flag, it's a flare gun lighting up the whole sky. Let's not pretend this is just about coaching decisions. This is about philosophy. This is about how you handle a once-in-a-generation player. Caitlin Clark didn't come into this league asking to be handheld. She came ready to lead. But instead of giving her the keys, White keeps jamming her into a structure that breaks everything she does well. I will let her create, improvise, dictate the tempo. In Indiana, she's being asked to blend in, not stand out. That's basketball heresy. When Clark is on the court, the Fever have a 107.5 offensive rating. When she sits, it plummets to 82.2. That's not just a dip, it's a canyon. And the team acts like it's a mystery why they can't score. It's not. The answer is simple. You've built a system that actively works against your best player. The frustration is visible. Clark's body language is shifting. The joy she brought to the game is flickering. And it's not just her. The team looks confused. There's no rhythm, no cohesion, no spark. Even stars like Aaliyah Boston are being frozen out of the offense. And you can forget about defense. This team doesn't even pretend to guard anyone. They're surviving on luck and missed shots, not strategy or effort. Then, insult to injury, White gets fined for criticizing the refs. That's where her focus is. Not the motion offense that's flatlining every night. Not the stagnant sets that make Clark look like a role player instead of the generational talent she is. It's deflection at its finest. Meanwhile, other franchises are licking their chops. They see what Clark can do when she's unleashed. Just ask the Liberty. She single-handedly torched them for 54 points between her scoring and assists. And guess what? That only happened because the Fever finally let her cook in the fourth quarter. Imagine what 4 full quarters could look like. But that's the maddening part. We've seen what works. We know what Clark can do when the leash is off. And yet, White continues to dig in. And Lin Dunn? She's watching this slow-motion car crash from the sidelines, unable to stay silent any longer. When someone with her pedigree, someone who's won, calls out the coaching in public, That's not a personality clash. That's a professional red alert. And it's not just about what's happening now. This affects the long-term trajectory of Caitlin Clark's career. She's not going to tolerate mediocrity forever. The league wants her to be the face of the WNBA. Fans are buying tickets to see her. Sponsors are lining up. If Indiana doesn't wake up soon, they risk losing not just games, but the one player who could redefine their entire franchise. Let's get real. The WNBA is evolving. Look at Las Vegas with Aya Wilson, or New York with Sabrina Ionescu. Those teams build around their stars. They adapt. They amplify. They don't cage their superstars. They hand them the spotlight and say, "Go." And yet, here we are, watching Clark go from a viral highlight machine to a pawn in a broken system. She's not the problem. The system is. And that system starts with the head coach. This entire situation has the makings of a tragedy. Not because Clark is failing, she's not. But because everything around her is failing her. The offense, the rotations, the philosophy, it's all being exposed. And with every misstep, the trust between Clark and the organization erodes just a little more. So where does this go from here? Does Stephanie White finally realize she's suffocating the team's biggest asset? Does the front office intervene and demand change before it's too late? Or does Indiana double down on dysfunction and risk watching the greatest rookie of the modern era burn out before she ever truly ignites? Because one thing is certain, other teams are watching. They're ready. If Indiana can't give Clark what she needs, someone else will. This isn't just a team in turmoil. This is a franchise at a fork in the road. Stick with the outdated system and the stubborn coach, or pivot, embrace the talent you have, and build something great. The clock is ticking. The fan base is fed up. And somewhere, Lin Dunn is still watching, probably shaking her head and wondering how many more warning shots she'll have to fire before someone finally listens. What do you think? Should Stephanie White be fired immediately, or does she deserve more time to figure it out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the drama unfolding across the WNBA. We'll be right here when it all goes down.